Hey everybody, it's Kathy Champion with Random Acts of Crafting, and today I'm going to bring you, since we are approaching the end of July, I had not done anything with Christmas in July. A lot of other people have been doing the entire month of Christmas in July, which I absolutely love. Christmas is a wonderful time of the year for so many of us, but because I just started my channel in June, I had not had time to get things together to actually bring y'all something for Christmas. But I had this little stamp, this little snowman stamp that I absolutely adore. He stamps up so well. He's so stinking cute, and I thought, what a wonderful way to do a very simple Christmas card. This is not going to be a fancy card. This is a straightforward stamp color, wishing you a Merry Christmas type of card. So it will just hopefully that I can have a little bit of Christmas in July content on my channel and bring y'all a really quick and inspirational card to show you that a card doesn't have to be complicated to be cute and to be something that is handmade that your friends and family would love. The other stamp set that I'm going to use is this new stamp set from Maymay Made It, and it's called Holly and Heels. I love this stamp. We have her here with the presents stacked up in front of her face. We have her here from the back, standing a little bit pigeon-toed, but she's carrying all her goodies that she's gone shopping for. And this one right here is adorable. This is her sitting down on her knees in front of the Christmas tree. I did stamp this one out, and I will show you. I colored it, and I thought that it colored up beautifully. I thought this was just a precious stamp. It looks like Christmas Eve to me. The magical feeling that we all get on Christmas Eve when the presents are all wrapped and the tree's lit and we're just waiting for Santa Claus. I think that's just a wonderful time. But the font on this particular stamp set is what is so lovely. I'm going to lay it on top of this white cardstock so that you can see it just a little bit better. But we are going to use Merry Christmas and have a holly jolly Christmas on our card. So without any further ado, let's get started. The first thing we're going to need is a piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to pull a piece out of my pack of cardstock, and this is just a Neenah 65-pound weight cardstock, but I love this for my general making of my cards. So we're going to cut this down, and I'm going to cut it to 4 by 5 1/4 because this is going to be our mat for the base of a card. So we got our 4 inches by 5 1/4. And we are going to stamp this. We're going to do this very simple. You could embellish this. You could do some ink blending with some blue. You could make some little hills for your snowman to set on. But I'm going to go straight forward, making it quick and simple, because I wanted you to feel like if you needed to do a quick Christmas card, this would be a perfect thing to do. We are going to use this, like I said, this is a penny black stamp, and it is a wooden with a red rubber stamp on it. And I will be coloring this with some alcohol markers, so for that reason I'm going to grab my Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and I'm going to actually bring the ink to the stamp. So I'm going to turn this around, and I am just going to pat. You don't want to rub, and I do have ink all over me because I did do a trial run on this card. But this just is such a cute little stamp, and so many of us love snowmen. I know snowmen are my favorite. I decorate with quite a few snowmen at Christmas. They are just so cute, so whimsical, and I like them short and fat, tall and skinny, in between, snowman family. I just love snowmen. So we are going to get this all inked up, and that looks pretty good. And I am going to bring it down to the bottom part, and I'm using a mouse pad to stamp this on so we have a little cushion. And I'm going to bring him down to almost to the bottom. And I'm just going to press. I want to get a good, you don't want to wiggle. You never want to wiggle your stamps because this will give you shadows, and we don't want shadows. We want a nice crisp image. So I'm just going to let that sit there for a moment. I will look on Amazon, I believe is where I got this stamp, and I will link that in my description where you can find this stamp if you're interested in getting one. You also can go to pennyblack.com and you might be able to find it there. I don't know if it's been discontinued, but isn't that so cute? I think it stamps up really pretty, and the best thing about it is that he colors up so wonderful. And you can do him in so many different colors. You could do him in blue. You could actually do this in like your favorite team's colors if you wanted to do a sports themed stamp, which would be cute as could be. But now what we want to do is I'm going to get this little piece of mat protector that I have, and it's nothing more than just a piece of cellophane, and I think I actually bought some cardstock, I mean not cardstock, chipboard in this packaging from Hobby Lobby. And this is I use this for when I'm doing my alcohol markers so that I don't ruin my mat. So remember this, if you are coloring with alcohol markers, they will bleed through and you will get some residue on your mat. So make sure you put something under it to protect your mat. So I'm trying to decide what colors I want to make my snowman. I do know that I want him to have a pretty little pink nose. So let's go ahead and color his nose. And I am just going to take this medium pink. This is a 451, and these are the Nouveau alcohol markers. And I'm going to give him a nice little rosy nose, because if you were sitting out in the snow, you would probably have a rosy nose too. So then I'm going to come in with this 485, and this is like a gray. And we're just going to gray him around the edges just a bit, just to give him a slight shadow under the bottom, you know, because supposedly now the snow has gone, the sun has come out, but it's still cold. It's hard to talk about it being cold in July. I live in the South, so July is like one of our hottest months, but that's okay. We're in December. It's not quite so warm. December and January, it's very, very cold here in North Carolina. A lot of people think that the South, that we don't have winter, but we do. We have winter, and sometimes it can be really bad. Sometimes we have mild winters. Sometimes it snows heavy. Other times we don't see any snow at all, so it varies. Life in the South. But I wouldn't trade it for anything. Now you can see that gives just a very light gray shadow there. I want to come back in because I like a little blue on my snowman. I think that adds to him. So I'm just going to go back over that gray. Not taking away from it, but just kind of accentuating it a little bit. And we are going to do his arm up in that corner. And his little arm right there. And definitely around his face, you want that little bit of blue. I think it just brings out a little bit more personality in our Mr. Snowman. Maybe a little bit under the scarf. And if you can see, there's very jagged areas around his hat and his scarf. So this makes it a very easy snowman to color. Now I am going to grab the black because I'm just going to dab with the black on his little pieces of coal for his buttons. I think those are so cute. I am going to come back up and just dot his eyes because the pink kind of bled in there just a little bit. His little eyes are so close to his nose. Alright, so now what we want to do is we want to color his hat. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the brim white. I'm going to color the top of it, the red, and maybe do this part of pink. So let's go in with a little bit darker pink, and we're going to just color. And alcohol markers are so easy, I think, to color with. I prefer the alcohol markers, I think. I have the Tombow water markers. They're water base, which you can use those with your VersaFine ink, which is nice because we all love VersaFine. It's always stamped so well. So I think now I'm just going to do this top part in this darker, richer red. And it's okay if it bleeds into this other. I'm going to blend it in a little bit anyway. So I'm going to grab this color, and while that color is still a little bit wet, I'm just going to blend that to try to get a little bit more of a blend. Because what I want it to go subtle from the hat part into the little pom-pom of the hat. So now I'm just going to color this. And please feel free while I'm coloring this, so you can fast forward. In my editing, I may fast forward through this a little bit. Now I'm leaving a little bit of lightness in there, and the reason for that is I want it to look a little bit dimensional. So I'm going to blend it out using the lighter pink, the 449. And now with this scarf, I'm going to do it in this darker 381, I'm sorry. Let's see, let's put this one back. I like to keep my pens in order. And you know, your coloring in something like this does not have to be perfect. In fact, a little bit of imperfection adds character to it. So don't feel like that your coloring has to be, you know, just so. Now once I get this colored, then I'm just going to go in with little circle motions, especially around the edges. Now I want a little bit of light to show right there, so I'm not going to color that in completely. I am going to go back with that light pink, and I'm just going to blend it. And this will give the effect that the sun is shining on his scarf, and that's why he's probably got that nice smile on his face. He's happy. And I think that is just perfect, just the way it is. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get off of this Holly and Heels. We're going to use this Merry Christmas stamp. And I am going to stamp this in my VersaFine Onyx Black. And again, I think I will put this under it. It's not as necessary with the photopolymer stamps as it is the wooden block rubber stamps, because these do have some give, so you usually get a good image. And see, I'm checking to make sure that I have that covered really well. And we are going to put our Merry Christmas right over top of his head, right about there. And I'm just going to hold it there just for a few minutes and let the paper absorb that ink. And then lift it up. Beautiful. That turned out gorgeous. now all we need to do is get a card base, and I have a red. Let's see if this is going to work. Yep, that's going to work perfect. So what we're going to do is we are going to score this piece of red cardstock, and this measures 4 1/4, so it is actually a half a piece of 8 1/2 by 11, cut on the 8 1/2 inch side, cut it at 4 1/4, and this will give you your card base for an A2 size card. So we're going to lay it on the 11-inch side in our scoreboard, and we're going to score it in half at 5 1/2. So 5 1/2 is right there, and then I'm going to fold it over, square up your corners, and score that score line down nice and crisp. The other thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to cut a piece for the inside that needs to measure the same as this, which was 4 by 5 1/4. Get my head on straight so I can tell you the right measurements. So this needs to go in at 4. And if you're using one of these Cricut trimmers, it's so neat because you can just, without the bar being down or out, you can line it up to that corner. And this is my favorite paper trimmer, and I would suggest it's a very inexpensive paper trimmer. Maymay does sell them, but she tells all of her people to go to Cricut, and you can get it much cheaper. I think you do have to make a minimum purchase of $50, but you can actually pick these up at Walmart. You can get them at Maymay Made It. You can order them online. There are just so many places that you can get this. Now I have loaded up this Have a Holly Jolly Christmas, and I am going to, I originally did this in black, but you know what? I think this would really pop in red, so I am going to use my Glamorous VersaFine Clear ink, and this is in the color Glamorous, and Maymay does carry these inks as well, and these are my favorite colored inks. I'm waiting for them to come out with some new colors because I love these inks. They are just beautiful. Now I had a little bit of trouble with this stamping the first go around, so I'm hoping that I will not have any problems this time. I am going to put it on this mat again, just like so, and I want to get this kind of in the middle, but yet up to the top by a hair, so we have room to sign under it. And I am very shaky this morning for some reason. And there we go. I think we're going to get a good image on this. I certainly hope so. That looks good. We did get a little ink right there, but I still think that we can, let's try this again. Let's put it on here. Let's clean this ink out just a little bit. And I definitely need to get some wipes in here. I don't have any more wipes, and that is crucial when you're stamping. Okay, let's try this again and see if we can get a better coverage on it. And you know what? I'm going to take that out this time and just stamp it directly down on here. So let's see. We're going to go down to the bottom, no, about middle way. I think it gave it a little bit too much cushion, and that's probably why I picked up that ink that was on the inside of that stamp. And see, that didn't stamp good at all. Okay, I had the same issue with the first one that I did. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We are going to clean this off, and we're going to bring out our Misti. I don't know. I think I've got a little bit of a lump, maybe something under my mat right here that keeps me from getting. Okay, I don't know what happened, but once again, it seems like my camera cut out. So I'm going to voice over and show you the final product. Here's our little snowman card after I finished it, and this is also showing the other one that I made, and also the sentiments that I showed on the inside. I do apologize for this little mix-up, but I hope you did enjoy making the card. I'll have everything in the description, measurements, and where you can find the products to do this. Thank you so much for tuning in, and God bless.